our hotel in Dubuque to finish the previous day's route through some northern back roads. Came up to some signs that indicated the road might have been closed, and I wasn't about to drive up there with a small trailer and have to back it up. I didn't know ahead of time that the road really wasn't closed, but I took this little detour down a gravel road, and we went past some very rural areas and drove past a small looking speed shop, which I thought was pretty neat, and finished our route. We ended this route at the Field of Dreams, which was kind of cool. I've never been there before. And then made our way over to Earlville, where Tri-State Raceway is located. In the last video, you saw the issues I was having with my two-step. I decided to look into this a little bit further when I got to the track on this day, and started looking under the dash for loose wires or pulled out wires, and reminding myself of how many added on wires I have. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's an organized mess. Checked the firewall location to make sure the grommet was still in place and nothing was rubbed through. I really couldn't find anything, and I was like, well, I'm not going to take the entire car apart and then have my class called and not be able to run. So I just left it and decided to go with a foot brake and just, figure it out from there. When my class was called, I purposely hurried very quickly to the lanes and got there early enough so that I could film some of the cars rolling up into the adjacent lane. It was pretty cool seeing everyone roll in and cars that they drove to the track. So I pull up into the water box. The car's on gasoline now. I fully expected to go down the track just fine, but in the back of my mind, it was kind of a troubleshooting method. Just eliminate one thing and make sure that the car is very safely on the rich side. And on this pass, I'll find out if fuel mixture or fuel was part of the issue or not. Car bogged pretty hard coming off the foot brake, and I got out of it and got back in it, heard it break up, and now I'm figuring, well, maybe there's something going on with the ignition system, and we'll pull that apart now. What I'm doing here is verifying the rotor phasing in the distributor. I have a special test cap that I put on. It's got a massive hole drilled in it that I can shine a timing light through and see where the rotor and spark occurs and make sure that the pulse on the distributor are clocked correctly. When you have distributor gear wear, the rotor is always going to lag behind the pulse in the distributor cap. So there's a little bit of hope that the gear's just worn and it's just not phased correctly and spark scattering. It was off a little bit. I didn't think it was enough to cause spark scatter, but we recentered it and tried again. I pull up into the water box for my second pass. I have high hopes that this will fix it and it'll get down the track just fine. I know the car's probably going to bog again like it did last time, but I'll lift just past the 8th mile and run my dial-in time and get my time slip for the day.
That works. Motor phasing was a little off. I just have to figure out the two-step stuff. I think the way that foot brake, I think I'm just going to do that for the rest of the time. I don't know.
The bad thing about wearing a helmet is you can't hear everything. I mean, everything's a little bit muffled. In this video, you can hear the engine kind of go flat above 5,500. So it didn't actually really fix it if you listen closely, but I thought I had it fixed at this point in time. made an adjustment, and the car ran way better that time. It wasn't breaking up like it was in the previous test days, and we turned in an 1194, I believe, which is pretty close to what we dialed in at. I think we can go over or under. We definitely don't have a chance at winning it because of the slip we handed in yesterday. So what was happening is the spark in the distributor was scattering. I pulled a bunch of timing out of it at the track last year with the crank trigger, and I never reset the rotor phasing with the distributor, and I think it caught up to me today. I didn't have trouble then, but for whatever reason we've had to debug that. The only other thing that doesn't work with the car is a two-step, and I don't think we're going to figure that out.
We hit the road to the next checkpoints, and it was pretty amazing. All the people that were along the route, they knew that we were out there, and they were taking pictures. There was a lady sitting all by herself having a mile marker telling us how long it was to the next checkpoint, and just a lot of people under their shade tents enjoying the cars. When we pulled into Motion Raceworks later in the day, it was absolutely packed. There were places to park, but it was tight. It was a log jam. They had music, food, and gave factory tours. It was a really cool experience. Got to hang out and see a lot of the cars, and some of the trailer burnouts leaving this event were pretty awesome too. I tried doing a little one, but the car just wasn't going to do it that day. On this last day, we're feeling pretty good that we have everything going for us. The car is still in one piece and everything seems to be working okay. The goal is to lay down another 12-second pass, and then if time allows, we'll see how fast the car will go. So this thing didn't foot brake at all, or real good yesterday. I'm not sure if I broke the beam early or not, but I forgot I had these front and rear accelerator pump cams that came off when I did the conversion. I kept them. We're going to put them back on and try to get this thing to go without two-step today. Both cams are in and we're ready to go for the first run of the day. Footed really good on this pass, but as you could hear, the engine went flat at about 5,500. So we're back at square one. Despite the way the car ran most of the week, this event was very enjoyable. It was a really nice vacation. Hopefully next time I will have everything a little bit more debugged before I get there.